بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد, so with the continuing with the Quran, and we started to look at the Ijaz al-Quran last time. So today we want to start to look at the types of Ijaz, inshallah. What does it mean, Ijaz? Miracle. Quran has used this word.
Not capable of doing something. It's like you don't have the thing to do. You're unable to meet the 10.
To be incapacitated. You heard this word? To incapacitate your opponent. The person finished, he has to give up, lie down, hands up, incapacitated. غير معجزين في الأرض. They cannot outstrip Allah. They can't run away. The Quran's challenge is such that nobody can meet it. That this is from Allah. Every ayah, the word ayah, has also been used in the Quran as miracle. The word ayah itself. It is a proof, a sign, a symbol of Allah Ta'ala's absolute power, and His kalam is absolute. It is a sign that this is from Allah. Yeah, every ayah. And Musa alayhi salam, Allah Ta'ala, He mentions about him. What is the ayah? Abdullah, tis'a ayatin.
ولقد آتينا موسى 9 آيات بينات.
وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى 9 آيَاتٍ بَيِّنَاتٍ. We gave Musa these 9 signs or miracles, ayat. One of them was the staff, so turning into a serpent. The other is his hand, radiating light, and many others mentioned the frogs and the locusts and all of this. Yeah? This ayat. So Quran, every ayah of Quran is an ayah. It's a mu'jiza. You following this, yeah? That it cannot be, nobody is capable of bringing anything like it. But today what we want to start focusing on is, what does this actually mean? How do we then break this down? How can we break this down? Yeah? And the fact is that the more you will get familiar with Quran, the more you will see the ijaz al-Quran. There's no definite list, exhaustive list. There's no such thing as exhaustive list from the past or present of the miraculous nature of the Quran and the different facets or areas through which the Quran is mu'jiza. So this is from the types of ijaz that has been mentioned in this book. So the ijaz al-Quran is a combination of all of the different areas, not just one. So when Allah Ta'ala, He says, bring an ayah like it, a surah like it, فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ مِّن مِثْلِهِ, then the thing you bring has to tick all the boxes. You get it? That we will look at, inshallah. Not just one or two, but everything. Otherwise, it has not the capability of standing up to the challenge. You see that? So in the book, he has quoted 10 categories of facets or aspects of the Quran being mu'jiza. He's stating Muhammad ibn Juz'i al-Kalbi. So the first is, what I tried to do, I tried to summarize it so that it's easy to note. The first is the eloquence of the Quran. Eloquence. The balagha, the fasaha, the adabiyya, the rhetoric, if you like, the eloquence, what the word in English really? That we mentioned last time, the miracle of, or the mu'jiza of Musa was hissi. You remember what did that mean? Musa's miracles were what type?
Like see.
Sensory. Hissi. And you could see it, sihr, magic. Yeah? Isa al-Islam's context was what type of context?
Health, medicine.
Yeah, medicine and health and tib, medicine. Hissi. Also you can see it. But majority of mankind now, it is intellectual, rational. You can contemplate. So eloquence. The eloquent speech is the pinnacle of humanity. The pinnacle. This is what makes the human human. And fi ahsani taqweem, Allah Ta'ala mentions, Allah created man in the best form. Ahsani taqweem. Superior to any other creation. Even Allah Ta'ala made the angels bow down to Adam alayhi salatu wasalam to recognize this creation that Allah has given nutuq, articulation, to be able to speak and to be able to, really the whole objective of speech and articulation is what?
Make others understand.
But for us, what is it? Beyond that even. To praise Allah as He should be praised. Kama haqqahu. You see, Allah Ta'ala taught us this. Allamahul bayan. Allah taught bayan to mankind, yeah? Khalaqal insan allamahul bayan. And the Quran is the pinnacle of this bayan, eloquence. So the first aspect of the miraculous nature of the Quran is the eloquence this was the pride and joy of Arabia, the poets, at the people of eloquence. They used to, as you mentioned, at the fair, they had an annual fair of Uqaz, it was called, and they would compete, and the best poem or the best whatever saying, speech, etc., it would be then hung on the Kaaba to say this person has the most eloquent of speech. Yeah. So this is the first aspect of the Mu'jiza, Ijazul Quran. The second he had mentioned is the organization and arrangement of the surahs and ayat, and the arrangement of the words in the sentence structure of the Quran. So you see that the ayat in which they are organized. Oh, you told me that. Let me share the screen with you. Okay now?
Yeah.
So the organization and the arrangement of the surahs from Al-Fatiha to An-Nas. And then the arrangement of the ayat within the surah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Then Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Then until Wal-Dhalin. You see, there is a very beautiful rabt, link between these when you study Quran. When you know the Quran, your heart, your mind will bear witness. This is something else. This is not something man-made. And the more you indulge in this tadabbur and study, you will find more and more pearls. The scholars, they say beautifully that if you want to find the pearls of the Quran, you have to dive deep. Just like if you want to find the pearls in the ocean, you have to dive deep. You have to amiq, into the abyss. You have to have understanding of the Quran. You will find that the groups of surahs, beautiful connection from beginning to end of Quran. Organic connection for us humans to give us what we need and then to take us through guidance step by step, step by step, step by step. And then there is a repetition of subject matters because insan, is from nisyan, forgetful nature. We need a reminder. We need things to be reiterated to us. That's why Adam and Iblis, how many times mentioned in Quran? What do you think?
12.
12. Guess, have a guess.
10.
13.
13. So we have to beat Abdullah because I have told them so many times. Ibrahim, how many times Adam and Iblis mentioned in Quran? La ilaha illallah. 7 times. 7 occasions. I even drew a diagram for that. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. 7 times the story of Adam and Iblis mentioned, first in Surah Al-Baqarah. Yeah? You will find it. Let me see, I have the diagram, I think, here. Of the story of Adam and Iblis as a reminder to us. I think here it is. There you go. See this? Look at this. Al-Baqarah, Araf, Al-Hijra, Isra, Kahf, Taha, Taha, and Sad. 7 times the story of Adam and Iblis has been mentioned in the Quran. And if you study it, this is just bullet points, you will see beautiful, comprehensive picture of this whole notion of Adam and Iblis and the guidance that we can extract from it throughout the Quran. So the arrangement and organization of the surah and the ayat is miraculous. But you have to taste it to believe it, isn't it? They say the taste, what is it? They say the proof is in the pudding. Yeah? The person has to study the Quran himself. And then you see these things. Quran is like, these, Ayani, it's not a very good example, but just to make a point. I don't know what they're called. These 3D images that you have to stare at. If you keep staring at them, the 3D image, it pops out. You know this something? What's it called? The name for it. You know what I'm saying? You familiar? Yeah? This is Quran. The more you concentrate, the more you focus, the more you think, you will see things. This is Mu'jiza. Yeah. Khair. Third type that he mentioned is the incapability to produce something like it. So we know this is we have mentioned this, yeah, incapability to imitate it, bring anything like it, which has been mentioned many times. We did this last time. Yeah? And the people who did this, like Musaylim al-Kadhab, he announced his prophethood within the life of the Prophet. And then Abu Bakr, he had to fight, etc. And this person, when he said he made up some verses, you know, they're very famous in the books, you read them. Something like this, yeah. Malfil, yeah. And you're laughing and people would laugh and say, what is this nonsense? You're talking nonsense. You know this is wrong. You need to lie. You're lying, you know it yourself. So people became laughing stock that tried this. Number 4 is the Anba'ur Rusul, the stories of the prophets and messengers, which were unknown. These facts and the incidents and the precision of their stories, they were unknown to anybody. Prophet ﷺ especially, he was unlettered. He had not studied or read or nothing. Allah Ta'ala, He revealed in the Quran, we will see that later on today, regarding when we go into some of these in more detail. That Allah Ta'ala has said repeatedly in many places that you did not know this, you were not present there when this happened, but this is the revelation that we have sent to you to show that this is from Allah. 5th is the predictions that the Quran makes of the coming. The Quran mentions about Abu Lahab, Tabbat yada Abi Lahabin wa tab, ma aghna anhu maluhu wa ma kasab, sayasla naran dhata lahab wa imra'atuhu hammalat al-hatab. So the last 2 ayat, they are saying that Abu Lahab would enter the Jahannam and his wife as well. So if the Abu Lahab had any sense, he would have said, I'm a believer. I believe. Could have lied, isn't it? He could have said, I'm a believer. And the Quran says, I will go to hell. But I believed. So you see, you get the point. But he died as a disbeliever. He didn't even falsify that he's a believer. And then the news of, so there is one ijaz of the Quran while it was being revealed. That Allah Ta'ala, He says about the Ghulibati Rum, yeah, the Romans and the Persians. So the Romans have conquered, the Romans have been conquered, but within 9 years they will conquer. But this was unbelievable at the time. This could not have, if people had to bet on this, they would never bet on this, because this was not going to happen. But this happened that on the Battle of Badr, the year of the Battle of Badr, at the same time, the Romans, they also defeated the Persians. It came true. This was as the Quran is being revealed. The other is Allah Ta'ala mentions Radduka ila ma'ad. This is in Mecca. Allah Ta'ala is saying to the Prophet ﷺ, you will come back to the beginning, meaning you will come back to Mecca victorious. Now when these ayat are being revealed in Mecca, the Muslims are less than 100 strong. In the whole world, there are only 100 Muslims, believers in Muhammad ﷺ. Yeah? But Quraysh and the other tribes and the whole of the Arabian Peninsula, amongst them mostly mushrikeen, powerful, the custodians of the Kaaba and leaders, for them to be told that in the Quran that very soon you will come back victorious, this is an unbelievable. This is just a wishful thinking dream. You're dreaming. Yeah? You see, that's why they didn't really think of it as a threat. They felt so overwhelmed with their power that didn't conceive this as a threat. They said these small people. شرذمة in قليل قليلون. This is what Fir'aun thought of Musa and his people. You're such a small band of people. I will wipe you out. Nothing. Prediction came true within just few years. Allah Ta'ala's Rasul, he came after Hijrah on the 8th year, just within 8 years. That's in fact 6 years. Sulh Hudaybiyah. The Muslims became a power to have to enter into agreement with. Just like what happened in Afghanistan last year, after 19 years. All of the nations of the globe said these people, they are just a handful of crazy people. And Bush, he said, we will send you back into the Stone Age. We will smoke you out. You know, Californian cowboy. We'll smoke you out. And now look what happened. You should know the news. And what's happening now? So the US is pulling out its forces. Just a handful of people, don't think you are, huh?
They said we won't leave you alone.
The battle will continue until the last day.
They said we'll never leave you alone.
Yeah. The battle is continuous. We shouldn't live in a cuckoo land, that we will live in a nice, like they paint the picture in the cartoons, Mr. Men cartoons, if you've seen them. Green hills, nice trees, nice postman. This doesn't happen in this dunya. It happens in the Jannah. Here there's always haq and batil, fight. This is the whole life. So these predictions, and we will look at some more later on. And then the actual fact, the fact that Allah, to know who is Allah, how can we know who is Allah until Allah tells us who is? The concept of Allah that makes sense to your mind and heart. The fitrah. His names, his attributes that you would say, yes, this is Allah, this is Allah. Not that He is God and He is Son. He is Creator and He is creation. He is ever living and He can die. Contradiction. It makes no sense. So the Quran gives the attributes and names of Allah. His oneness makes sense. Makes sense that there is only one God, one Creator. Creator of everything. No need for 2, 3, 4. This is weakness. That means He's no Creator. And then the fact that because He is the sole Creator and Sustainer and Owner, therefore only He should be worshipped. Tawheed. And if you don't worship Him, that means you give His right to others. This shirk, this is unfair. Simple. Yeah, simple. Very simple. But you look at any other way of life, or any other ideology, it will contradict itself. It has element of shirk. Any atheist is mushrik. Do you know that? Atheist is mushrik. Agnostic is mushrik. Humanist is biggest mushrik. We think mushrik is only the one who bows down to the idol. We think these people are neutral. No such thing as neutral. This is mushrik. Because Allah has the right to be acknowledged as the cause of everything. Musabbabul asbab. He is the cause of all causation. When you say the cause of something is something other than Allah, this is shirk, fi sabab. You're attributing Allah Ta'ala's perfection and ability to something other than Allah. This is not giving Allah His right, this is shirk. You believe that we are just evolving, just randomly it's happening. There's no intelligence behind it, nothing. No causes, just this is shirk. To think that we can agree upon what we think is right and wrong in the absence of Allah, this is shirk. The Quran gives the beautiful holistic understanding of what is right and wrong. And it is al-haq. Al-haq. Al-haq means that which fits perfectly and everything makes sense. Al-haq. Everything else other than haq is batil. We'll have aspects of things that make sense, others will contradict it. You look at the holistic picture of this person's Weltan Shung. You know Weltan Shung? Worldview. And you will see that where are the craters and where are the cracks. When you have a conversation with somebody about Islam and Allah and etc., and then the last, usually after you have exhausted all others, all like these things we are mentioning, all of these, then the last thing is you turn the table. But you have to know what you're doing, otherwise the table can be turned again on you. Yeah? And you hide under the table. You say to the person, okay, after I have explained all this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you have understood it and you understood the meaning of it, but you still say no, then you have to fa'tu bi suratin. So the challenge is then you bring something better than what I've said to you. Bring me better, ahda. In surah we mentioned last time, Qasas, isn't it? To bring something better than this, give me a worldview that makes complete sense, like mine makes complete sense in every aspect of life. You bring me the alternative, superior. Unable to. The best answer you will get is, eventually we will know. Yeah, eventually you'll know, but it's too late when you know. So this is Ijazul Quran, in that basically the belief in Allah is so beautiful, clear, your fitrah, your mind, your heart, everything with yes. You would understand it. You don't have to have faith in it. You know, people have faith. I just have faith that Jesus is Son of God. I just have faith. Can you explain? You can't understand Trinity unless you have faith. You heard this? Yeah, this is what the Christians say when you speak to them. They say, you know, Jesus, Trinity is a bit like cherry pie. I remember in university they said to me in student union, in I think this was 1993 or 94. Jesus is like cherry pie. You got the crust, yeah, you got the cherry and you got the jelly. But it's one pie. But this is Trinity. What stupidity is this? Huh? So you made Allah into like a pie, a thing, creation. So you have to understand that these things make no sense. Seventh is Sharia. The Sharia of Allah, the guidance of Allah in all aspects of life, comprehensive guidance, which a person, an honest person would appreciate it. Honest. The guidance in the fulfilling of all your instincts, Every instinct that Allah created, He gave us Sharia on how to allow this instinct to be channeled in the best form. What to eat, what to drink, what not to eat, what not to drink, what causes harm, what causes benefit, married life, social evils like gambling, social evil drinking. Now they're trying to close all the pubs and restaurants and the clubs. But they know this is evil. This is where the disease spreads. So Allah Ta'ala, He is teaching us that when you don't obey my Sharia, you no, Allah Ta'ala, He is Ghani, Allah Ghani. He is free from any need. You are the people who suffer from it. So, many things to talk about. 8 is the fact that the Quran is unchanged. When we have looked at the whole chapter on the tahfiz of Quran, the Quran written and memorized in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and then in the time of Abu Bakr, who recommended to him that you should write it down? Umar. Who did they appoint? Zayd ibn Thabit. Yeah? And then what was his condition?
2 people.
Good. 2 witnesses. Yeah? And then what was the next stage after Abu Bakr?
I think they done it again.
Who did?
Zayd.
Why?
After the battle. No, that was the first one.
For the people arguing in Isfahan,
Azerbaijan,
in Azerbaijan,
Armenia.
Hudayfa had people arguing in Azerbaijan.
About what?
That one of the Qur'at of that and other.
There's different types of it.
So we learned that Qur'at and the Ahruf. Yeah? So all this Quran has been preserved. Quran has been preserved in its text and its understanding, its meaning, tafsir. And it is preserved. It is a living preservation. It is preserved in the lives of the Ummah. The Ummah as a body, Muslim Ummah, since then until now, is a body of people who have lived the Quran. You see? So they have transferred this culture of Quran from generation to generation, preserved it without any deviation. And you can spot the deviation when it is introduced by culture, etc. Because you have the text. See, whenever you have a problem, فَإِن تَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ فَرُدُّوهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَالرَّسُولِ. If you have any dispute, is this from Islam or not? Is this from Allah and His Messenger? You go back to Allah and His Messenger, Quran and the Hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and the understanding of the Sahaba, and then the Tabi'een, and then the Taba' Tabi'een, and the A'imma, and the Ijma', and you will find very, very clear guidance. You can sift. Preservation. So this is one aspect. And the other is linked, is the hifz, the memorization of the Quran. It is a miracle. It is really, if you think, it's such a great miracle. And you will find, you realize more and more as we are becoming technocrats. We love technology and we're reliant on everything. We stop using the brain because we say, I don't need to know it, I can just Google it. Why do I need to memorize it? Huh? Children I teach, we teach them key terms. So I say to the child, I say, what's the internet? So out of a class of 20, nobody can really tell me what the internet is. But they know what the internet is, but they can't explain it. I won't ask you. So the internet is basically, internet is the physical aspect of a network, technically. Eh? Anyway, I say to the children, you have to memorize these key terms. But you'll be tested on these. And when I emphasize it, they memorize it. If I don't emphasize it, they read it and say, I know what this is. And I say, what is it? Look at me. Oi, Abdullah. You have to be careful. If you don't emphasize it, they don't memorize it. Yeah? So they can't recall the facts. They make up waffle. Yeah? Wishy-washy, woolly stuff. So more and more we will realize as this kicks in more and more, the lack of memorization and the ability to memorize, the more and more the Quran will even become more miraculous. Because all people memorize. People can memorize. And they feed us this nonsense that you only have attention span of 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. This is all rubbish. All rubbish. Absolutely. To dumb you down. And you think, yeah, that's true. I can't focus more than this. Eh? I have sat here, alhamdulillah, for days with my sheikh, and now for 1 second I felt that I need a break. Absolutely, alhamdulillah, no problem. It's not everybody can do it. It's a matter of realizing that capacity Allah has given you and us. So the memorization of Quran is a miracle, and one aspect of making this more, to bring this to life, is to say to a person, and I use this when we talk to the non-Muslim, I say, what do I say? Alhamdulillah, I didn't learn anything. Huh? We say to the person, imagine this Quran. You know, recently they burnt the Quran. Every year they do something like this. They burn Quran or something. So I say, look at these fanatics, these people, if they were to burn all the Qurans, let's say hypothetically, and to delete all the Qurans from electronic devices, then very simple solution we would have. If you were to select 100 random people from the globe who claim to be the memorizer of Quran, and then you tell them, write the whole Quran, all 100 of you. And then if you compare these 100 Quran, they will be identical. So now what do you think about Quran? Memorized. Nothing is memorized like Quran. And it's not a few pages, is it? It's 600 odd pages. Anyone makes one mistake in Taraweeh, people jump. Because they know it's wrong. Preservation of Quran. This is a mu'jiza, an ijaz of the Quran. For it to be memorized by so many for so long, continually. So this is, as I said, what is this? This is the Muslim Ummah, isn't it? The body that's preserving it, isn't it? You see that? And then we have the 10th one he mentions is the deep meanings that never-ending meaning of the Quran, the deep meanings. You can extract more and more. The more you contemplate about an ayah in a certain situation, a certain era, a certain particular event, of course, you have to, it has to be relevant. You can't, you can't go crazy, if you know what I mean. Then you take some ayah and you will try to relate it on something completely irrelevant, and then you say, oh, look, it relates. No, not like that. There are usul of tafsir, which we will see. And then based on that tafsir, then we do tadabbur. And then you realize that, subhanAllah, this guidance is amazing. Every situation that we have, Allah has guided us to it. You have to find it. You have to find it. It is there. Just like every doubt regarding Allah and His Messenger and the Quran it has been dealt with in the Quran. You will not find any new doubt that is thrown, shubhat that are thrown on people's minds, but it has already been dealt with in the Quran. You have to find it. You have to dig. Like Imam Malik was it? I think Imam Malik, when he was asked, what is your proof for ijma, consensus? So he started reading Quran. Because he had firm belief that everything that is the haqq and everything is in the Quran, it will come to me. I can't remember exactly how many times he read Quran. And then on the nth time, when he was reading it after many times, he came to the ayah. وَمَنْ يُشَاقِقِ الرَّسُولَ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا تَبَيَّنَ لَهُ الْهُدَى وَيَتَّبِعْ غَيْرَ سَبِيلِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. سَبِيلِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. The ayah says that whoever has enmity and more than enmity, a person is opponent of Allah and His Messenger, and then follows other than and then whoever obeyed, whoever then follows other than the way of the believers, mu'mineen, sabili mu'mineen. So Allah Ta'ala then mentions after that, نُوَلِّهِ مَا تَوَلَّى وَنُصْلِهِ جَهَنَّمَ وَسَاءَتْ مَصِيرًا. Then we will leave the person to turn in that direction, and will burn that person in the hellfire. This is the worst destination. So at Sabil al-Mu'minin, the Imam, he says, this is ijma. I have the dalil from Quran now. So the deep meaning in the Quran, it is there, but as I said, the proof's in the pudding, isn't it? You cannot really convince somebody if you're not convinced. This is the whole thing. You cannot look eye to eye and say, this Quran is from Allah, if you have not yourself felt it, seen it, read it, lived with it. And then inshallah, the Quran, the belief goes from the mind and the tongue to the heart. And you're absolutely satisfied. Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. Your heart is completely at ease. You don't shake every time somebody brings you some awkward question. Shubhat. The da'is should be well versed with Quran. It is not good enough just to know some dawah techniques. Some is not good enough. It's a starting point. So you go on, people do run a one-day course on dawah, that's good, but the starting point. Because you have to yourself become rasikhuna fil ilm, people whose knowledge is deep-rooted in Quran. And then inshallah you can be more effective in dawah. This is what the Prophet he did. He would receive Quran and then he would read it at night. Rasikhuna fil ilm. Reading Quran. I think who was it? Abdullah ibn Masud? Abdullah ibn Abbas. He started to pray with him, and the Prophet he prayed Baqarah, then Al Imran, and then he said, the Sahabi says, too much. I can't stand for that long. Yeah? So this is how the Quran, its deeper meaning would be revealed, Bismillah. Okay. Did we start? What time did we start? Do we know on Zoom how long we've been? 34, I think. Yes, okay. We have 4 minutes. So, okay, the next aspect then to go into is he then goes into some detail for some categories. Yeah, so let's look at this first category that he wants to go into in detail is the language and the style of the Quran. So language and style of the Quran. So he has then broken it down into, he says that the literary challenge or the ijaz is choice of synonyms that are best for the context. They are best for the context. Yeah? There is an ayah about Musa alayhi salam's mother. Which surah is that? Okay. Let me see. Where am I? I haven't passed it. Hazan Khifti. Khifti, as I mentioned here. There is another place. Fu'ad Ummi Musa Farigha. Farigha. There are essentially what I'm trying to get at is there are different words that have been used in the Quran for fear. Yeah? Synonyms that have been used for the word fear. And you will find that the different synonyms that have been used in different occasions, they fit the occasion perfectly to give you the very vivid understanding of that situation. I'm trying to look for example. I can't think of exactly. I will look into it because I can't remember the surah. Second is, can you think of any other example of that? Choice of synonyms in context. There is also, we did this Raib and Shak, Mirya and Raib and Shak. Mirya and Raib and Shak. Let me show you something. This will, hopefully this will make it be easy for you to appreciate this. So in the Quran, there are a few words that have been used for, if you just give me 1 minute, I want to just stop sharing so I can bring up something. Okay. Back to sharing. Here you find there are some words. Can you see my screen? There is the word shak. Shak, yeah, shak. There is shubh. There is mirya. There is labs. There is marij. There is raib. There are 6 words in the Quran that have been used for some type of doubt. When you read the translation, though, it will just say doubt. Yeah, English translation. But there's a difference. Shak is when there are 2 ideas presented to you. Yeah. But because you are not aware of them fully, you are unable to decide between the 2. This is shak. I repeat that, yeah? Shak, you can see shak here, number one. I know it's in Urdu, but I'm explaining in English for you. Shak. Shak is you have two ideas presented to you, but because of your inability to fully appreciate them, you are in doubt as to which one you should prefer. The shak. You happy with that? Does that make sense? Second is shubh. Shubh. Now, what can you remember that we have studied that is related to this word shubh? We have studied it. Mutashabihat. Yeah, ayat mutashabihat. What did we say? What does mutashabihat mean? Remember? Because there is similarity between things, you get a bit confused which one to pick or not. Because of the similarity. Shubh. Okay, shubh. Shubh means, two people that look very, very, very like each other. I'm not talking about twins. I think somebody looks very much like somebody. Some people that look like someone famous. This is shubha. You think he looks very similar. Eh? So, but if there are two things that are so similar in their characteristics or something that it causes you to doubt which one is, this is shubha. Mirya, third one, mirya. Mirya, and this we studied this one in the last surah we did last time. Fussilat. Miryatin min liqa'i rabbih. Mirya is to cause people to doubt something which is fact. To cause people to doubt something which is actually a fact, a reality, by talking, by bringing your doubt into it, conjecture. And this is regarding the hereafter. People, when they are in mirya regarding meeting Allah, meaning meeting Allah is a fact. Meeting Allah is a fact. Yeah? They're in mirya. See, the word has been used in the Quran, mirya, in the context that you have a doubt, because mirya means the doubt about something that is a fact. Because you bring the doubt in. Whereas the thing itself is not doubtful. Does this make sense? Happy?
Yeah.
Fourth one is labs. Labs is to mix two ideas in a way that you cannot differentiate between the two. Libas is something that covers something, not part of you. Labs is you have two ideas, you mix them in a way that it is difficult to distinguish between the two now. This is a type of doubt. What is labs? Any other word place you can remember in the Quran about this? Labasin? Fi labasin? Yalbisuna. No, that's different. Yalbisuna, yeah, but that's very close. Khair. Fifth one, marij. Marij is you like something and then you think of the other, then you come back to liking this, thinking of that, then you get confused which one. Yeah? You like this or that. Oh no, this, no, that, no, this, no, that. I want this. No, I want that. This, no, I want. I'm not sure. Marij. So you think of doner kebab. Yeah, doner kebab. And then you start thinking of biryani. Oh, biryani. doner kebab, biryani, marriage. So now you're in doubt. Which one should I pick? I like this and I like this and I like this. And I like this. So you should do istikhara, yeah? And the sixth is raib. La raiba fi. This is a doubt in which there is some sort of unease and anxiety. Is raib. There's doubt in which there is tirab, there is some unease and anxiety. So you see 6 words, and in the meaning, English meaning, you will say doubt. All 6 will say doubt. So you then appreciate that when you read the Quran, that this word is the right word for this, because this encapsulates the meaning. So this book that I'm referring to in front of you, it's called Mutaradifatul Quran. Where is it gone? Mutaradifatul Quran. It is the whole book is about the synonyms in the Quran, the whole book. So you see this one aspect, I can't find it now, but anyway. This whole aspect of the synonyms used in the right context, we have a whole book of the different words that have been used for similar meaning, for us to appreciate. Okay, the second is unique sentence structure. The unique sentence structure of the ayat. Unlike the common or even the eloquent Arabic, the Quran has a unique style. Especially when you come to these surahs, I think in the 27th juz, and then the 29th, 30th, small ayat, small ayat, rhythm, and something else. I mean, we can't appreciate, to be honest, because we don't really grasp the Arabic in that manner. And he doesn't give any examples in this anyway. Number 3 is use of terms to give deeper meaning. Use of terms to give the deeper meaning. And he doesn't give examples. But inshallah, if we think, and we, as I'm trying, we think we'll find examples. Terms for deeper meaning. I can't think of anything. Pronunciation of the word matches its context. Pronunciation of the word, it will match the context, meaning if Allah Ta'ala is talking about a matter which is good, nice, easy, then when you read that, it will be easy for you to read. When you're reading it, the words are so simple, flow. But if Allah Ta'ala is describing something difficult, ضيق, yeah, ضيق, difficult. So to read it will be difficult as well. There's another aspect to this. I think it's related. You know, I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Onomatopoeia, what is it called? Something like this. The word that when you say the word, it gives you a glimpse of what it means. I'll give you an example of this in Surah Al-Kahf. Abdullah, you know which one it is? It's Surah Al-Kahf. Moj? Does it give you the feeling of when you're saying the word, when you pronounce it? Look at this. Read this ayah, Billah.
وقل الحق من ربكم فمن شاء فليؤمن ومن شاء فليكفر إنا أعتدنا للظالمين نارا أحاط بهم سرادقها وإن يستغيثوا يغاثوا بماء كالمهل يشوي الوجوه بئس الشراب وساءت مرتفقا.
Which word is it you think? Yesh. Yesh. Yesh is like kababish. Burns. Yesh will wujuh. Will scold and burn the faces. What do they say? Will scold, which scolds their faces. Yeshwi. Yeshwi. If you look at the roots of this, it gives you more, a bit more. Yeshwi. Yeshwi. To roast, scold, grill. All of this. The word itself. Yesh. Yeah? You can feel it. Even if you don't know Arabic. Yeah? You get it? This is just one example that came to mind. So pronunciation of the word matches its context. And then the last one that he mentions in language and style is the perfect combination of concisement and detail. So where things should be concise, Allah He has mentioned them concisely, and when they need detail, it has been given in detail, yeah, as required. So Allah Ta'ala He mentions as a general example, He mentions the lives of messengers and prophets, and He gives us the main events concisely. Whereas if you look at the Bible, it gives you the whole history, as if a book, because it's man written, like you would write a story that he came here, then he went there, then he did this, then here. Historical. No, it's not like that. Very concise, to the point. As much as is needed, that's it. No more than that. But when the detail required is there, inheritance is not enough to just say, give everybody their share. What is whose share? So very long ayat in Surah Nisa. فَلِذَّكَرِ his حَظُّ الْأُنْثَيَيْنِ etc. क्या है वो? مثل حظ ها؟
فإن كن نساء فوق اثنتين فلهن ثلثا ما ترك وإن كانت واحدة فلها النصف.
Anyway, he knows, mashallah. So in detail, the people who you shouldn't go in front of, the ladies shouldn't go in front of, whole list in Quran, detail. You know that? You know this one from this? Have you read this ayat? You should know, because you will be husband soon. So who your wife shouldn't go in front of. The most dangerous person your wife shouldn't go in front of, who is it? According to Hadith of Prophet. Have a guess. Guess, just guess. Yeah, your brother. Your own brother. Your brother and your wife should never sit eye to eye. Humu al-maut, the Prophet said. This is death to the family life. And look at our culture is messed up. Messes, isn't it? Baji, ban. I don't know what you call your sister. Ban in your language? She's ban, he's Bai. That's it, sitting together. Prophet al-hamu al-maut. So the detail has been given in the Quran regarding the people, the man, woman can go in front of long list. Surah Nisa, Surah Al-Ahzab, Surah Nur, I think. Ahzab and Nur. you have to know that, inshallah. I don't know how when we started. Where did we start? You stop? Don't worry, you can tell me to stop. I won't say anything. I didn't even realize how long it is. Khair, inshallah, we'll stop there for now. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.